Learn how to create and sustain school partnerships. It definitely comes from all of us working together. Just a little bit of background. So, our school, we set the stage for the work that we do, the things that we engage in, by following our vision, mission, and our core values. So our vision is inspiring the innovators of tomorrow. We are a STEM school in the Dysart Unified School District. We actually have to get certified through the state, and we were the first in the state to get a Cognia certification for our STEM program. And then as I was a principal, we recertified with flying colors. So we have a very heavy emphasis on STEM. Our mission statement, so our vision is way out in the future. What will these kids be? They will be innovators. But how do we get there? Every single day, we have to live our mission, which shows that we are committed to developing 21st century learners that are prepared to solve real world challenges through the use of collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and cross-curricular STEM learning opportunities. So much of research right now is going to, yes, we need to absolutely know the standards, but there's also soft skills that all of you in the business world absolutely know people need to have. So how do we teach our students to be collaborative, to be creative, to look at problems and critically think, how do I solve those problems? How do I have those tools? So we believe those soft skills certainly run every single day our mission in our school. And then our core values, just like Mrs. Older said, students first. We need to be student-centered. We have to be innovative, and we have to create those opportunities for hands-on learning. And then each year we have a theme. So this year's theme is make adjustments, not excuses. We could but till the cows come home, but that's not going to change anything. We need to say, here is what we have. How do we modify? How do we adjust? And our staff loves that, but more importantly, our students do. So when they start, oh, this is too hard, let's make adjustments, not excuses. We got to learn. We only have today to do it. So each year we have a new theme, and that one has been absolutely a fun one that has really stuck with our entire campus. So like I said, our vision, mission, and core values, they guide everything that we do with purpose. But we also have a continuous improvement plan. So I imagine many of you were business men and business women. And if you do not have a guiding document that says what are our goals, we kind of flounder. So I just wanted to highlight one of our goals is to create successful collaborative partnerships with our community. So really the emphasis on being a STEM school, but also being able to inspire our youth to understand democracy is a very, very vital part of our world, our democracy, our United States of America. And how do we inspire our youth to understand democracy? Really, it's bringing the outside world into our school. We do follow our scope and sequence. We follow the curriculum and governing board materials, but it's so much more than that. I believe that history is storytelling. History is action-based. What could we do to continue our youth on that role in learning about democracy? So since 2007, the inception, and that's when Mr. Razzo started, and he was just tremendous in building partnerships. And then I think that passing of this torch is making sure that we hold tight to the partners that we have and continue growing them. but we have been working with all of those folks. So the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post at 10695 in Sun City. We have also participated in the Patriots Pen Contest, the Veterans in the Classroom program, Veterans Day commemoration, just to name a few. And then I think about our continued partnerships. So highlighting SAR, DAR, Blue Star Moms, Veterans in the Classroom. Those are all just partnerships that, and I have to say, Mike does such a great job. Dave and Mark do such a great job because we're a school of over 1,000 students who come with parents, who come with grandparents and volunteers. I have a staff of almost 100, and just nourishing a STEM program, ensuring that we are learning and the day-to-day operations that I value the partnerships because there are emails and say, okay, where are we at with this? And you should see, and Mrs. Older knows this, the amount of activities and events that we invite our community in. I start planning year in advance, and I empower my teachers to be community or the chair people. At times I jump into because I need to know what's happening. So it definitely is a great partnership, but I love it because there's communication, and that's part of your circles is your internal and external. And I just value and sustaining relationships and creating that. I'm going to tie it back to your tenets of communication. Don't feel bad communicating with us, sending us an email. Where are we at right now? As a principal, as a teacher leader, we need that because, sometimes we're like, okay, we have this right now, but we do value that. And then we could put things and make plans. So our partnerships, we value them because we're able to send invites to say, hey, please come to Constitution Day. Please join us on our Veterans Day Assembly. But I've even had our partnerships join our site council meetings, come to awards ceremonies. The presentations in the classroom it cannot be underscored of how important they are. You all have a story to tell. Ed, I think that you need to come and tell your story, really, and with tears in your eyes telling those stories, you capture the hearts of kids. So I would love for you to come in and share those because the kids will listen and they need to hear that. An added benefit for the kids is certainly are earning their certificates. One of my most treasured gifts from Mike was my coin, and I have it, and I know the students that just treasure that too. So those types of things are important because you put kids first. So here is where our stories tell the pictures. That this was the 2024 Constitution Day, and yeah, I think you could see Micah over there in the background. Twyla is front and center. I think that this is super important to show you. So our 7th grade for Constitution Day, they learn about the founding fathers and daughters. They just research them, they write about them, and then they memorize speeches about their biography. And then we get the opportunity to walk and learn from them. And I see several of you actually in this picture. And you could tell your story to your friends here about how powerful that is, that just to see the preparedness of the students and how it impacts. So they need an audience and you need connections with the young youth. And they're so prideful of the work that they do. do. So we do this annually on Constitution Day, and this is led by our Mr. Duffy, our 7th grade social studies teacher. And then we're going on, our next big event in November is our Veterans Commemoration Day. And this is pictures from the 2024 Veteran Commemoration. And even though, and I told Mike, I want to wait, I want a big giant audience. That student right there is Peyton, and she was our 2nd place winner nationally for the brochure contest. Look at the smile on her face. She was so prideful. She was honored in front of all 1,000 kids, all of the teachers. We invited parents. Some of you came as honored guests. It's pretty incredible. It's something that she will absolutely never forget. And that is you. It wasn't, yes, it was the certificate. And believe me, I asked her how she was going to spend her money. But it's Peyton's. So she says, I'm going to put it in the bank. But it's so incredible. And then to have our school honor too. Just with the participation. So that was just such a neat experience to create for our kids. We also honored Kiana, and Kiana was a 4th place national winner. She had the poster of the execution of Nathan Hale. So she was able to get honored too and recognized for her work. Again, if we didn't partner with you, we would not be able to give this child this experience. And it's all about learning. She will never forget that moment. Her parents will never forget that moment. And if we are committed to what we say we are, putting children first, this is why we do it. And now she's going to take that knowledge and have a deeper knowledge of history because of the activity and just the learning that took place with that. I did want to put Mr. Grau up here. I know that he is not part of the Sons of the American Revolution, but it's that, and I know many of you know Mr. Grau, it's that connection to the connection, oh, I know somebody, and I know somebody. So Mr. Grau, he has since retired this year, but he has routinely come in and told his story about the Vietnam War to our 7th graders. And history stays alive through storytelling, but he has become such a vital person on our campus. Every single year during our Veterans Day Assembly, he honors somebody in our community with a flag. The individual that was chosen, so prideful right there. He is a dad on our campus who fought in Afghanistan and lost his legs and arms during the war. You would never tell that man even thinks that he has any challenges ahead of him. He is so inspirational to our students. When Mr. Grau asked me, who do I think should receive that? It was hands down. We knew that it needed to be Mr. Bolus. So his wife is actually a teacher on our campus, and that is his son, who is a 3rd grader on our campus. But again, it brings to light what our country is all about, which is we have to remember that people are sacrificing for our freedoms and honor them because that's life. And so I wanted to, just highlight that partnership and those activities. During our Veterans Day commemoration, then we have the honor of partnering with our PTA, who helps with breakfast, and our choir comes in. It actually was a mistake. There was a couple of things 2 years ago in our program that went off script, and we missed a whole chunk of the choir singing. And our amazing Mr. Hammersmith, he's just like, you know what? We're still gonna sing. So he brought the choir and the piano into breakfast. And I said, this has to be a tradition. So he brings the choir in to sing during breakfast. Our students, and that middle picture shows, our students write thank you cards, and we put them in a beautiful ribbon, and they are meant for our veterans to take. And oftentimes this may be just one of the kickoff celebrations, or they go to other Veterans Day activities, and pridefully take those cards and give them out to veterans, which is the whole point of that. We just want to spread our love and our thankfulness as far as we can. So that is another another partnership where we're talking and we're sending invites out, but we absolutely think the more the merrier with that. So this is the awards ceremony. So this was actually not last year, but the year before. But you could see how beautiful it is. So we hang the posters up. It's very proper. We invite our students who come, and they honor each other's peers. So that was what Mike was alluding to. With only 3 weeks left of the school year, we're going to put that on pause. But we're going to do it in a bigger fashion on Constitution Day to honor this year's winners. So that, again, here, look at how close and right there with students. So that's just more pictures, and thank you for the certificates. Thank you for the honor. These kids will never forget that, and go back to their classrooms, back to their homes, into the community with pridefulness. So we love the poster contest, and we put it on our walls for all to see. This year, we were so lucky with the Daughters of the American Revolution. So they were able to get the America 250 American Revolution. I think it's from Gilder Lerman, correct? I don't know if that's how we usually get it. Panels and working together and being picked by DAR to say, hey, we have this display for 5 days. Could we spend 2 of the 5 days on your campus working with kids? Yes, absolutely. And so what we did is we created a schedule. Our grade levels signed up, and then we had groups of approximately 4 to 5 students that went around for half an hour. There were 12 different panels. You get to get educated and learn how to teach the kids on the different panels. And then our students, and we teach them at a very young age. So even our first and second graders come in with a clipboard and paper, and they take notes on what they learned. And then they get back to their classroom because there's 12 panels. They don't visit all 12 panels. They get back into their classroom and they share their learning with their classmates. If they do something with that learning, teach something, they will remember it. And this is history coming alive by our partners to our students. And I think that, Dave, that was one of the stories that you had because you were in uniform. And didn't a student ask you, are you from the American Revolution, right? And in a young child's eyes, you are a hero. You are so full of knowledge, and you have so much to give. So never underestimate the story that you could tell and the impact that you have on a child. That's why we do what we do every day. Veterans in the classroom, because, and I don't know how Winnie Fritz came into my life, but she, and I know many of you know Winnie, she is just a gift. And that partnership and her stories that she tells to students is so powerful. And we were able to actually honor, not this year, so 2023, Winnie with a flag because of the impact that she's made. So if we didn't have our partnerships right here, then I could not grow them and have that impact so that your stories stay alive. So overall, like I said, the objectives is really, how do you create one if you haven't, or sustain it? I would just really go to your circle, go to your local schools, call, set an appointment with the principal. I recently had a gentleman who was introduced through Winnie ask, could I come in? And the first step, and I thought that it was great, is the field tone right for me? And so before we scheduled anything, we took a tour of the school and we got to know one another. And then after we got to know one another, he said, yes, this feels right. I would love to be able to tell my story. Okay, so then I'm able to, get the right grade level and teachers involved in that. But I really do think that going to your local school, if you feel like, you need a little bit more than just walking into a school or calling a school, do you know any teachers, potentially from church, relatives that you could start having that conversation with? What if you have grandchildren, or I think somebody was saying that my daughter-in-law is a teacher. Could you go with a relative that is a daughter-in-law that's already a teacher, or a son-in-law? Dysart Connections. After this, Dave and Mark can share my email. Do you want me to create a connection with somebody in Dysart after hearing your story? That might be a really good fit. But really, when you are introducing yourself and making that first step towards building the relationship, tell your story and what is the vision that you would like to see your work with the school. I think that's extremely important. Everybody has a gift to give. What is that gift? Coming maybe in pairs too. It's always easier, just to have a buddy. This is, these are the different things that SAR does, and opportunities for your students to take part in. I think that that's really important. Visiting the campus, like I said, and, just building that relationship with the administrator. I always like to think I'm a servant to Dysart Unified School District. They could tell me, Jill Hoppe, we need to go somewhere else, lead a different school, lead a different department. So I like to make sure that I also empower teachers, because I might leave, but they will stay. So it's making sure as a leader that I have you guys feel comfortable with not just Jill Hoppe, but with other people within the district or within the school, because you don't want a leader to leave and then it fizzle out. That's not growing and sustaining a program. Growing and sustaining a program means that if I was ever to leave, or the leader was ever to leave, that program and those traditions continue. So making sure that those relationships are just more than one person, that they are multiple people. So that really is where I'm at, where I believe very straightforward steps into getting into schools and connecting with youth.